Oh, what a trio of experts. Ian Darke, Steve Nicol, Jan Aage Fjortoft. All right, Jan, let's start with you. Norway 2-1 losers at home to Serbia. What happened?
Nothing. Norway were bad. We have a good young generation now of Holland with Sørloth for Leipzig, Ødegaard Real Madrid, Sandberg doing well at Sheffield United. But from first minute, more or less to the last, we equalized 3 minutes before the end, took us into extra time. But that was just to keep on our pain. And Milinkovic-Savic, the Lazio striker, scored 2. He came on as a sub. Mitrovic from Fulham, he could have had 4 goals. It was just terrible. We're out, and we were not even close. And that feels a bit sad now, because this young generation, Norway, we haven't been at the championship for 20 years, and we were not even close, and that is very disappointed. And that's the report from Norway. A rainy Norway today, in all means of the words.
You mentioned those young players, Jan Ødegaard, Haaland, Sørloth. Like, what was it in this match? Were they inexperienced? Did it show? Were they naive? Because Serbia looked like the team that was at home playing for the win, not the other way around.
Exactly. We knew when we got this game in March, we had a home advantage. Of course, that could be an advantage to have a full Ullevål stadium. Today we have 200 people who we could take in with all kind of rules because of COVID, of course. But it was just like boys against men. I mean, Serbia, they got the tallest team. They got a tallest team in Europe, and they look so strong. And we just weren't there. We didn't have one shot at goal. Erling Haaland, who's scoring for fun in Dortmund, he had one chance at a corner, but we were just taken apart today. Unfortunately, we had so much hope for this generation. We were so for this Nation League because it gave us an extra chance. We knew that if we beat Serbia, the final would be easier, Stevie, taking the winner of Scotland and Israel. But we weren't good enough, so there is nothing to hope for. And it's a sad, sad day for Norwegian football again.
Ian, I know it's not the match that you were specifically focused on, but it is a sad day, not just for Norwegian football, but for anybody who wants to watch this tournament next summer. It's going to be a big loss not to have Erling Haaland in it, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, because he would have been one of the superstars, I think, of the European Championships. I do feel sorry for Jan. I do feel sorry for Norway. But that's the way it goes sometimes. They had their chance tonight. They had home advantage, and they couldn't make it count. So it's a heartbreaker. Very, very pleased, I must say, for Scotland. It's odd for an Englishman to say that, but I was. And to see Kenny McLean coming forward to take the last penalty with a smile on his face. Imagine that. This penalty, you've got to put it in the back of the net. He had a smile, stuck it in the back of the net, and Scotland now will play Serbia, which is a difficult one, away from home.
Speaking of smiles, look at Steve Nicol. That smile is quite wide. Go ahead, Stevie.
Hey, hold on, Darke. That was wind. He wasn't smiling. I can assure you that was wind.
It might have been, yeah.
Stevie, you were assigned to watch the Scotland match, and I think like 10 minutes in, you texted our producer and said, I hope we're not doing highlights because nobody is scoring. I don't know if you have a crystal ball there in the background on the left, or maybe it's the right of your shot. How'd you know they weren't going to score, either team?
Well, listen, I'm smiling because we're through, so I should be smiling, but I mean, very early, this had 0-0 written all over it. And of course, unfortunately, I was wrong, so we had to go through 90 minutes. And then we had to have extra time. And finally, in the penalty shootout, the goalie's got to make a save because neither of them made one save during the 90 minutes or the extra time. You know, there was a header from McTominay, which he should have scored. That was it for Scotland. And then Israel almost snatched it within a foot of getting on the end of a wicked cross in the last kick of the game. But Scotland's through, and at the end of the day, all that matters is the result. And whether you go through in 90 minutes or extra time or penalties, nobody right now cares how bad or how poorly you played. All they care about is you're through, and we've got a big game against the Serbs.
All right then, Stevie, let's look ahead to that match against Serbia. You mentioned it, not many chances for Scotland, 0 shots on goal today. Can they do better against the Serbs?
Well, it can't do any worse. Let's be honest. The problem is they have absolutely no invention or imagination in the team. You know, today pretty much McGinn from Aston Villa was the guy trying to play the passes and put the ball in the box, when his game at Aston Villa is all about him getting in the box. So that kind of tells you where Scotland are as far as creating chances. Now, they're dangerous at set pieces, but that's their hope. Listen, it's a 90-minute chance against the Serbs to try and produce something. Again, whether it's lucky or whether it's actually a great performance, again, nobody really cares. It's about getting through, but I'm really figuring, I can't figure out how they're going to beat the Serbs. They look to me as though they've got far too much experience and guile. But you know what? Anything can happen over one game.
Jan, you saw just how good Serbia can be. Do you give Scotland any chance?
Well, I think Stevie talking him down. I remember when I played against him 100 years ago when they qualified for the Italy World Cup, and Scotland still got a chance going to Serbia. But I saw Serbs; they were very good. As Stevie said, they know all the trick in the book. They are very experienced. And have a look at their squad. There are so many good players. It's also always for fans who don't know international football very well. Have a look at the clubs they're playing at. It's Ajax, it's Inter, it's Lazio, it's all over the place. Jovic, the Real Madrid striker, was on the bench. Kostic, the great left midfield player for Frankfurt, he was injured. So yes, the Serbs will be great favourites. But it's this one game, and outside the role that's been done before. But the Serbs at home will be great favourites.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.